Hello and welcome back as we continue our discussion of AWS deployment services, this time focusing on Elastic Beanstalk. So let's click on that over here in the Orion papers. And one of the first things that we should talk about for Elastic Beanstalk is the fact that it is for simple deployments. And what exactly do I mean by that? Well, let's click on Beanstalk Essentials here and talk about specifically what Elastic Beanstalk is. So Elastic Beanstalk is designed to make it easy to deploy less complex applications. So we're really talking about single tier applications here, simple web applications. This helps reduce the management required for building and deploying applications. Elastic Beanstalk is used to deploy out easy single-tier applications that take advantage of core services such as EC2, auto-scaling, elastic load balancing, RDS, SQS, and CloudFront. There are other options, but those are some of the core options. So when you think about Elastic Beanstalk, I wanted you to think about it this way. Earlier on in this course, we created a VPC, and then we created subnets and route tables, and we provisioned an EC2 instance into it with Elastic Load Balancer, and we ran some bootstrapping on the EC2 instance to install the Apache web server. Well, with Elastic Beanstalk, we can automate that process, or at least do it in a much more simpler fashion by selecting those components that we want. So instead of having to go and manually set up a VPC with an internet gateway and route tables and subnets, we can just say, hey, we want a VPC, we want 2 subnets, we want a route table, we want an internet gateway, we want an EC2 instance to be deployed into this subnet. Those are the types of options that you have with Elastic Beanstalk. It's just an easier way to create these types of environments. And then what you can do is you can set the code for your application and upload it as a zip file to Elastic Beanstalk to be deployed out along with the infrastructure. So it's a really simple way to just deploy out various environments, whether you're creating a test environment or a dev environment or a production environment. You can just upload your code, select the components you want, and easily deploy it out. And at any point, you can actually switch or upgrade, say, a test environment to your production environment and have Route 53 configured to point from the current production environment to the new production environment. So there's a lot of great configuration that you can do working within these AWS parameters to easily deploy out infrastructure and code. So why and when would you use Elastic Beanstalk? What are some other points we should know about here? Well, in order to quickly provision an AWS environment that require little to no management, right? So this is, again, for environments that are simple, things that are not going to require a lot of nuance or a lot of management. The application also has to fit within the parameters of Elastic Beanstalk. And it is important to understand that you can deploy from repositories or from uploaded code files. So we can deploy from, say, something like GitHub or Code Commit, or we can just upload a zip file directly into Elastic Beanstalk. We can also easily update applications by updating new code files or requesting a pull from a repository. So we can use Elastic Beanstalk to send code updates out to our test, dev, or production environments that we have created with Elastic Beanstalk. So currently there are a lot of different supported platforms for Elastic Beanstalk, and they include Docker, Java, Windows.NET, Node.js, PHP, Python, and Ruby. So again, just like with CloudFormation, you don't need to know really the nitty-gritty of Elastic Beanstalk for the AWS CSA exam, but you need to know what it is, how it's used, and what its purpose is. Now, we will also have a hands-on lab for Elastic Beanstalk after this particular lesson, which will allow you to get a quick hands-on introduction to Elastic Beanstalk and deploying out an application using this service. So now that we have a fundamental understanding of Elastic Beanstalk, let's go back and take a look at the diagram. Now this is very simple. Basically, we just have Elastic Beanstalk here, and when we run the Elastic Beanstalk service, all we do is select the options we need. We want a VPC, we want EC2 instances, we want auto-scaling, we want an RDS instance, we want various subnets, route tables. What are the components we need for our particular infrastructure? Then we select our code to upload, and then we deploy it out, and it will provision all the resources for us, install our code on those resources, and we should be up and running in a fairly short amount of time. So just like with CloudFormation, the basics are pretty simple in terms of conceptually understanding the services and how they were used. And so with that, we will conclude this lesson. Thank you for watching. You may now move on.